Welcome back. We are going to pivot a little bit and talk about some college football. So we have Lincoln Riley agreeing to enter USC territory. Sam, you seem a little giddy there. You want to start us off?
Finally, USC woke up and finally hired a head coach after so many failures of coaches from Lane Kiffin to Sarkeesian to Clay Hilton, and I don't even want to name the rest. Ed Oregon was in there. The coach that was at LSU, but Ed, I'm not going to give too much because I do like him. But finally, USC woke up and said, "Hey, we need to go get a head coach that's going to turn around our system." There is too many recruits from Southern California that are going elsewhere and not coming to USC and going to Oregon, Oklahoma, Alabama, Florida, and all these other ranked schools and not coming to USC. What is going on? Why can't we get the top recruits to come to USC? Oh, why? Because we're playing mediocre and the school is not the same as when Pete Carroll was there. But now I'm gonna go into my coach.
Do you need a tissue?
My coach, Lincoln Riley, is going to bring USC back and bring those national championships back to USC. And I just can't wait to see the recruits that he's going to get to come to Southern Cal, and we're going to bring back our powerhouse that winning national championships, where we did beat Oklahoma 55-0 one time in the national championship. So, I think that USC, I know there was a report that he was supposed to be going to LSU. And a lot of reporters asked him about going to LSU, and he told them that he wasn't going to LSU and that he knew he had the support of USC as far as coming to USC, as far as building the program and how excited it was. And I'm so excited. Now I can break out my USC. I was breaking out my USC gear anyway, but I was staying home because I didn't want to have to answer for their mediocrity. So, yes, I am definitely happy that Lincoln Riley, 55-10 is his record. So, coming from Oklahoma, he's 1-3 in ball games, but I think with his recruiting and with the players that he's going to bring to USC, is definitely going to bring a powerhouse.
Tommy, you seemed like you might have some comments.
I don't know. The college coaching situations are always interesting because of, the way that the contracts and things are set up where, he just signed, the extension with Oklahoma last year, was it, or 19, somewhere in there?
2020, yeah.
So it's a short turnaround, and the explanation given was the standard, hey, this is a new challenge for me, something new for me to do, and there may be there's always there's a lot of truth to that in college ranks, especially depending on where he wants to go, because now you're right. I mean, he had great success in Oklahoma. If he is able to go to USC and if he is able to bring that caliber of the program back to existence, then I mean that's a huge feather in the cap, and one that you can't readily get away from, because many others have tried and failed. And so if you're the guy that comes back and is able to pull that off, you've kind of solidified your mark, as far as the fame of college football. Um, so that's my only. My thing on that is just, signing a new contract, and then turn around and taking off, having a team that's going to buy out that contract for you is, it's always interesting. It's like, it was just really just a matter of like, hey, it's time for me to leave, which very well could be. You've been there for a while, and it's like, just like, not everybody is into, the aspect of, I'm going to coach for this one team forever. For a lot of folks, they like the challenge, they like the joy of doing different things, and you know sometimes things get bored where you're where you are. And one of the things I think that's when you have long programs that have been successful, they are successful, it's really hard to like change that up and to kind of make it
There's
easy.
a lot of pressure to conform to that culture versus creating your own.
Right. And so, it sounds like, I think that there's part of that is where, this gives you the opportunity to not just, be a continuation of a legacy, but to really have your own. So, I think, being everybody out West, would love to see, the West be back into, relevancy, sooner rather than later. So it's a good move. And it'd be interesting to see, because the Trojans have just, they suffer a lot, and yeah, their current culture, they're just stuck in that spot where, yeah, the top talent in the country is like, this USC is no longer, the big sexy college that it was, 20 years ago, 10 years ago, where everybody wants to go there. It's like, hey, Reggie Bush has been gone for a long time. So, people are looking at, and so bringing that culture back, it's a big that's a big task. It's not something that's small, but like I said, if you're able to pull that off, it also puts you, it puts you pulling that off puts you in a position where if he so chooses, he can basically walk into, probably about 20 of the teams in the NFL and just say, I work here now, and they just say, okay. It gives you that power if he's looking to move up. So uh time will tell. It's just because, and keep in mind, they were with the two teams floating around on this one. So it seemed like, there, for some reason, whether it's boredom, folks just want to go a different way. There was already wheels in motion that, he was departing Oklahoma. And that's the one is, sometimes even when you have a good coach, if the good coach isn't what you want, what you see, then you move on. Whether that's a good idea or not, talk about that one later. But it'll be interesting to see. Let's just put it that way. It's as usual, wishing the success. I'd love to see USC back up there. In general, I'd like to see the Pac-12 matter. But if he's the one to do it, then great. I think that's LA is still a big market. So, if he can bring the success factors back, it'll kind of sell itself.
Right. And I would say this: you have some coaches, and when I was watching the interview that he did, and one of the things that he said that he talked to his Oklahoma players before he left to go to USC, and that's one thing that I admire about him, because he didn't run. He didn't run from his players. He actually went to them and told them exactly, "Hey, I'm leaving," and gave them best wishes and everything else. So that to me just increases likability with me, as far as him being a person that, hey, I'm going to come to you and tell you exactly what's going on. You're not going to find out through the media, but they probably did Sunday afternoon when it was announced. But yeah, and you know what? This brings as I stated, this brings excitement to LA, because, as I stated, most of the players from Southern California were going to other schools because USC was not doing anything. And now that we have some excitement with Lincoln Riley and all his accomplishments that he did in Oklahoma, he's bringing it to USC, and you're starting to see that a lot of people who commit to Oklahoma is committing to USC now. And it just, to me, it comes at a time where there was a quarterback that was supposed to be coming to USC, and then 3 days before they announced Lincoln Riley was coming to USC, and he was like, "No loss, a Trojan, no love lost," and was going to seek other. I'm wondering if he's going to come back now.
So Sam, you talked about Riley. I don't want to say rejecting, but not choosing LSU. But LSU actually has a new coach of their own. So tell me what you think about the Brian Kelly edition.
I think they did a good job of picking Brian Kelly. I think he's going to flourish at that job. He's going to be dealing with Nick Saban in Georgia, but and I'm sorry, I should say Alabama, but I just can't.
Probably
I'll just Nick Saban team, because I respect Nick Saban. I respect all the Alabama players. The only thing that I do not like is Alabama fans. They are the most annoying fans that you have ever met.
I feel like I need to start like a stats, and every time you say you hate Alabama fans, just like mark it up, and at the end of every year, we'll calculate the totals.
I'm sorry, Alabama fans are annoying. There can be
Nothing
another
like
game
Dallas
on
Cowboy fans.
dealing with Alabama. Not at all. Alabama fans are horrible. Okay. There will be a game that will not have Alabama at all in the game. At all. And then I have to hear Roll Tide. I want to hear the tide is rolled. Okay. I can't stand Alabama fans. But getting back to LSU's hire, I think they did a good job of hiring him. I think the contract was $95 million for 10 years. So what is that, like $9.5 million each year? Definitely a good coach. They can pick up from whatever. They can pick up from where LSU can be able to improve, and just see how it goes in the SEC. Oklahoma's moving to the SEC, so I'm wondering who they're going to choose for their coach. So, we'll see.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I mean, I agree. I don't have anything against Alabama. The fans drive me nuts. That's about it. Other than that, it's kind of like, well, yeah, they're football factory. That's what they do. But yeah, with LSU, I'm thinking, I'm looking at this with Kelly. It's just kind of like, I don't know. I just don't know. I mean, it's up at Notre Dame. It's a different market. It's a different set of recruitment and all that. And he did phenomenal with what he had. But when it came time to the big games, you start understanding how underpowered you really are. And so he's going to be experiencing that now consistently, but he's in a market that brings that level of power and talent to it. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see. And this is one of those where it's like he's already shown he can do great things with the tools that he has. He's going to get a new set of tools. So yeah, we'll see. It might be exciting. It might not be exciting. That's the fun of it. It's the gamble. That's the gamble.
Let me say one thing about Alabama fans. This is the reason I do not like them. They will turn on their team so quick. I remember, I think the player name was Chris Long, that Alabama was kicking a field goal. They missed the field goal. One of Auburn's player ran all the way down to the touchdown. Okay. Alabama fans were threatening the kicker after the game. I mean, seriously?
Well, have a bad day at work, dang. Little harsh, folks.
I sometimes when I need to laugh, I find that I just replay that on YouTube. That one scene. Yeah, the fans' reaction to it was like, "What mafia retardation are you guys running over there?" Where you're like, "What? This is the last Boy Scout." You call them up, you're going to score or die. I'm like, settle down, settle down, settle down. It's like threaten the kicker for something that already happened. Yeah, that'll make a difference. That'll definitely make a difference on that one.
Should help them go back in time and resolve that.
Yes, exactly, exactly.
All right, let's take a quick break. When we come back, we can talk about the 49ers v Vikings. Ended up being a pretty good game for us.